What's up, everybody? It is Lynnbo here, and I'm very excited to be back making videos for you guys. Some of you may know I have been moving for about the last 30 days, literally moving my whole family overseas from Nebraska to Australia, where we landed right now, and we're kind of settling in to our new home, and we're really excited for this next chapter. But I'm excited to get back to streaming some games, making videos, making content, connecting with you guys, and giving away more games. If you don't know, the whole point of my channel is to give away video games. I give away at least one game every single month, sometimes more, depending on the level of support. It looks like we're on track to possibly give away a second game in the month of June, so make sure you head to my website, lynnbo.live. You can enter every single month. There's tons of ways to get entries. We also do special giveaways. We just gave away a Nintendo Switch 2 to our friend Ursi. Congratulations, Ursi. Thank you all who entered. If you're still sticking around, I really appreciate that, and I'm really excited. I may talk about this a little later in the video, but I think I have another awesome giveaway coming up this year for you guys to possibly win, so you're gonna want to stick around. It's a console giveaway. You're gonna want to be around for that, so make sure you stick around. But instead of talking about that for too long, I want to talk about the Xbox Games Showcase that just happened a little later last night. Depending on where you are, I'm in a weird time zone now, so everything's going to be a little different for me, but I was able to get caught up and watch the entire Xbox Showcase, and I just wanted to pop in here and get some of my thoughts on video and let you guys know some of the games that you should be looking out for, what I'm really excited for, maybe what I'm not so excited for. But there are tons of games and tons of good options coming out, so we're going to talk about them right now. I'm going to be breaking this video down into like 3 parts. There's the games I'm really excited for, the ones I'm most pumped for. There's games that I'm definitely looking forward to that I'll most likely play, and then there's a bunch of games that ended up in this showcase that I'm not like super stoked on. I may not wind up playing them, but I want to get them in front of you guys because they might interest you and you might want to play them when they come out. I got my notes in front of me, so I'll be looking back and forth a little bit, but let's get into it. I guess this is kind of in order of like my most excited to my least excited, if you kind of go that way, but I kind of just wrote them down here in a couple ways, and I'm going to talk about them in that order. The first one that got me super pumped, which is actually great because a good portion of the end of the showcase was dedicated entirely to this game, was The Outer Worlds 2. I am very excited for this game. I loved Outer Worlds 1. It was the first one from Obsidian. These are the guys who worked on Fallout New Vegas. They just released Avowed. They're good at making RPGs. They're good at making these kind of choice-based, character-based games, and they continue with Outer Worlds 1. It looks like they've taken that formula and just kind of expanded on it. It looks bigger and better in so many ways. I believe Obsidian has said that this is the biggest open world that they've ever built, so that's going to be pretty cool. It'll probably be the open zones like they continue to do, but I think that works great. It saves on loading time. Doesn't make it as overwhelming when you have massive areas to travel through, so I think that's a great option. The way that you can build your character, the options for building up your character with skills and abilities, looks like it's really awesome. It looks like they've taken the system out of Outer Worlds 1 and kind of souped it up a lot, and so I'm really excited for that. They've expanded on the flaw system. They've simplified apparently the skills, and kind of when you dive into one skill over the other one, that's going to have a lot more of an effect on your character rather than tiny little incremental ones. I believe they said, I don't remember if they said it in this one, but they talked about it in the past, how they're not going to give you the option to respec your character, which I think is a little bit of a mistake in my opinion, but they may work on some sort of new game plus option, or it may be in there for a cost or something, but I believe they're going to skip this, which I don't know if it's a great idea, but we'll see how it works in playing it. My biggest hope is that they've improved on the shooting quality in this one, because the shooting in the first game didn't feel super great sometimes. Some of the guns didn't feel big enough, some of them didn't really feel accurate, and it was just kind of a weaker shooter in that aspect, but it was still really fun, so hopefully they can expand on that and make the shooting even better. And I'm sure they have, because there are really cool gun options in this one, a lot of science options, so like making characters float or shooting them with acid and burning them up and stuff like this. It looked really good, so I'm assuming that the shooting and kind of the gunplay is going to be a lot better in this one. The next one that got me super pumped was Clockwork Revolution by inXile. This one is one that we've heard about for a long time. It looked like a BioShock successor meets some of these classic RPGs that are coming out of Xbox all the time now, but it looks really good. Is this a BioShock game? I don't know. I haven't played them yet. Stay tuned to my channel because I'm gonna be playing those games very soon. I'm excited, but this game just looks incredible. The guns look awesome. They're like jumping through time. You're editing the guns and you're creating your weapons, and it looks like different parts of the weapon are coming from different times, and there's a lot of literal clock inspiration in there. The guns have clocks on them, and they seem to be just really interesting options when it comes to creating your own weapons. I think that's awesome. It seems like a super British game, kind of in the vein of Fable, or you know, some of those games where they kind of double down on this British setting, this kind of old English setting, and the humor that comes with that really resonates with me. I think it's very funny, so I'm assuming this game's gonna be pretty funny. At some points, the custom character that you make apparently is fully voiced, which looks cool. The storyline looks like they've expanded on it a lot, so I think that's going to be really fun. This seems like it's going to be another one of those kind of open zone games. It didn't look too big because you're in a town, it seems, but it might be kind of this open world zone. You know, you're inside of a town, going in and out of buildings and things like that, but it does seem like it's story based, which is huge for me. I love story games. I am super excited for this one. The gameplay looked a little confusing, like how you'd be maneuvering in the world and exactly what you'd be doing, and some of the time travel things looked kind of confusing just watching. Obviously it's just a trailer, so you don't really know, but I hope when you actually play the game, some of that is a little bit simplified and easier to understand and play, so I think that'll be good. There was no release date for this game at all, which is kind of weak. We've been hearing about it for a long time. The trailer was like 5 minutes, it felt like, maybe even longer, and so to not get a release date after that is a little lame, a little weak, but I think it's still going to be a great game. Hopefully it comes sooner rather than later, probably 2026. If I had to put money on it, obviously I might get pushed past then, but it does not seem like a 25 game, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but I'm very excited for this one. Next up was The Blood of Dawnwalker, and this one is one that I've been hearing about for a long time, and I'm really pumped for this one because this is from a team called Rebel Wolves, which are ex CD Projekt Red developers, the guys who make the Witcher games and Cyberpunk. Specifically, some of these guys did work on the Witcher games themselves, and so if they're going to take any of that kind of story and combat and perfectly flowing game, which is what I think The Witcher 3 was, I think it was a almost perfectly flowing RPG where there was consistently good action, consistently good story and choices, and the gameplay was incredible. The combat worked super smoothly. I am a big fan of the Witcher games, as I know probably everybody is, and so if they bring even part of that into The Blood of Dawnwalker, I think it's going to be awesome. It's all vampire based. It seems like you're like a daywalker kind of thing. Dawnwalker is what they call them here, but you're not quite a vampire, not quite a human, and apparently you're hunting down these vampires that are coming to take over the area you and your family are in. Gameplay again looks confusing in this one. I don't know how you're going to be jumping around between combat and vampire powers and all these things. I'm sure they'll work it out. You know, when you watch trailers like this, sometimes they are a bit confusing because you don't understand the game yet, but I'm sure when we get our hands on it, it's going to play super awesome. Like I said, I'm a big story guy. I love story games. I love the story in games, and this one probably is going to be incredible. These guys seem to really know what they're doing when it comes to that. I think that the concept is that you're playing at like a 30-day story, and you can end the game in different ways. You're trying to save members of your family or your town or something, and so you can possibly save them all. You can possibly save some of them, and the game will finish kind of differently than that. And then I'm guessing that's kind of that replayability factor. It's kind of like the Deathloop games. If you ever played the Deathloop, or Deathloop game, I should say, I'm pretty sure there's only one of them, but it's kind of like Deathloop, which was a really fun game where you basically played the same day over and over again, and the goal was to kill 8, you know, specific people. I think it was 8 specific people all in one day, and you would kind of learn different things as you'd go, and then you'd piece it all together and you'd figure out how to do the best possible run and eliminate all of your targets in one day over the course of replaying it all. So hopefully it's a little bit like that, but hopefully a bit more story focused. Deathloop kind of got a bit confusing as you kept going, but it was a really good game. This one looks incredible too. Very excited for what these guys will give us. Next up was the Indiana Jones and the Order of the Giants DLC. Indiana Jones was my favorite game of last year, 2024. I 100% of that game. I spent so much time playing it. I just loved everything that they were doing in that one. So to finally get some DLC for this one, I think is going to be huge. It looks like it takes place continuing in the Vatican map, which was the best map in that game, in my opinion. It continues in the story of Rome and Antioch is what they're saying, like a city that's been buried under there. So that's kind of a cool one of those ties to kind of history and the Bible that Indiana Jones has always had, so that's going to be really cool. It does look like you're diving more into the storyline of the Giants, which take a lot of screen time in the main game. You're following Giants throughout it. You're kind of understanding their history and the Adamic language and things like that, and so it looks like we're diving more into that aspect of the game, which I think is awesome. It'll kind of expand that game in that way. Troy Baker, the guy who does the voice of Harrison Ford in this game, is insane. It sounds exactly like Harrison Ford. I cannot believe how well this guy does it, and so
they worshipped the Giants.
It just makes the game that much better to play when you literally feel like you're playing as Indiana Jones, because you sound exactly like him. So I do wonder how big this DLC can be. It's an adventure game. You're studying, you're solving mysteries, you're unlocking things kind of as you go and unlocking areas. And so a DLC focused in one area, may be more linear, may not be as open adventure style as the original one was, but I'm sure it's still going to be great. I'm a little nervous that it'll be short and be a little too small to actually have any substance to it, but these guys did an awesome job with the main one, so I'm assuming this will be awesome as well. Very excited for this one. Up next, some ones that I was super pumped about. This game came out of nowhere. I've never heard of this team, Null Games, making it. I've never heard of this game before. It was called There Are No Ghosts at the Grand. It looks insanely cool. It's like a magical, musical, town builder, mystery solving game. I don't know. It looked awesome. It looked like you're kind of this guy who's inherited this hotel from your dad who passed away, or like under mysterious circumstances, and so you're spending your time like renovating the hotel, but then you also end up renovating the whole town and helping out everybody there, but you're also using magic and all these options to kind of solve the mystery of your dad's death, maybe. I don't know. It looked wild. It looks so good. Came out of nowhere. The gameplay looks very unique, looks very fresh, almost like South of Midnight meets like the BioShock style, it looks like to me at least. I'm absolutely playing this game. Looked incredible. And next, they didn't spend too much time on this one because they've been talking about it for a long time, but I was so pumped about it. They spent a little bit of time talking about Tony Hawk Pro Skater, the 3 and 4 remake. From Iron Galaxy. It used to be, the first one was made by the Vicarious Visions guys, RIP. They got shut down and absorbed to make more Call of Duty games, I'm sure. So this one got handed off to Iron Galaxy, and they've been responsible for some of these other remakes and really nice kind of smaller games as well. And I am so pumped for this one. I love the Tony Hawk games. I have played thousands of hours of the Tony Hawk games on my PS2 and my PS3. I played every single one that I could, all of them up until even when they started to suck with like Project 8 and things like that. I still played those games, and so I'm very excited. I played the crap out of the 1 and 2 remake. I 100% of that whole game. I still go back and play it sometimes because I like it that much, and so I'm very excited for this one. I'm sad that the story mode version isn't coming back. It sounds like they're just doing kind of the required time level, so you only have so much time to play through and get the things. I'm sure there'll be open world and challenge modes and stuff, but it seems like the main version is playing through the timed levels and trying to get as many of them done as you can to kind of keep that replayability up. So that might slow the game down a little bit for me, I think, having to start and stop and try and do these things, but sometimes that's the way Tony Hawk games go. So I'm still really excited for this one. 100% going to play it. 100% going to 100% this game. I'm pumped that they're adding like the Ninja Turtles. They had the Doom guy in there. They always have these really creative options. They had new levels like the pinball level. There's like a SpongeBob level, I think, that's like a surprise level as well. So they're looking like they're making a really good game here. Very excited for this one. And lastly, for the games that I was super excited for, they started the showcase off with this one, and it's probably the last one, the one that I'm least excited for, that I know I'm going to play and spend a lot of time in, but it was High on Life 2 from Squanch Games. I really liked High on Life 1. I thought it was funny. I thought it was unique. It was a really kind of solid, strange shooter, so it wasn't like normal guns. You use aliens as guns, obviously. That's the whole point of the game, and I thought it played really well to that. It slowed down at parts and got a little bit repetitive. I think the formula really started to lose the excitement a little bit at the end, I think, which is, you know, it is what it is. Hopefully this one will expand on that format a little bit. I do think they're going to add a lot of things that will kind of grow the gameplay, which is usually what you do in the sequel. You take exactly what you had in the first one and you can just expand on that because you already have the tools and systems in place for that kind of stuff. So I think this one's going to be really good. I love the comedy of this one. Humor is really, really hard in a video game. Humor is all about timing. Comedy is all about timing, setting things up, and then delivering the punchline or whatever the bit is at the right moment. And so it's hard for games to do that sometimes, but High on Life 1 I thought did it really well with this situational comedy, the jokes that were just kind of happening around you and sometimes happening directly to you that you could miss if you weren't paying attention, but they did a good job with that. I still really like the Rick and Morty and Solar Opposites like shows and that humor, even with Justin Roiland gone. Good that they can kind of get rid of that stuff and shed that, but still be able to put out really funny things, and I'm really excited for this game as well. And so this game and all the other ones we mentioned, and a couple of these ones we're going to keep talking about, will definitely be up for giveaway this year. Make sure you guys get entered for that. Next up, I want to speed through a couple of games that I am definitely going to play. I wasn't as excited for, but I'm definitely going to be playing these ones, and they're going to be up for the giveaways and stuff this year. So I wanted to talk a little bit about these, but again, these are probably the ones I'm less excited for. So we're going to go through a little bit quicker with these ones. First up was the Gears of War Reloaded by the Coalition. I'm really pumped for this one. I've never played the Gears of War games. I played them casually in like multiplayer with friends or over at people's houses and stuff when I was younger. So I vaguely know about them, like that third person cover style shooter, but I never put much time into them. And so I was actually planning on playing this game sometime this summer in my series. I can't believe I've never played it. It's this one where I go back to really classic games that I somehow missed because I kind of started gaming later in life. And so I was going to play this one, but I'm going to wait for this kind of updated version to come out now. So I'm really excited for that. I thought the PS5 trailer version of this one is so much better because they address directly that Xbox is putting their games on PlayStation 5. I'll put that trailer right here.
You could get in a lot of trouble for doing this.
Not anymore. Things have changed. Welcome back to the army, soldier.
I just think that's awesome. That's a great marketing tactic right there, and I hope they stick with that and kind of, you know, play on this thing that these games are kind of only coming from one direction now. Microsoft is playing with everybody. Hopefully PlayStation can kind of open up its doors and get playing with other people as well, but something tells me they won't. Next up was the game called Resonance. This one's a Plague Tale spin-off. Plague Tale Legacy is what they call it, from Asobo Studios. I played a lot of Plague Tale 1 and really liked it. I played a little bit of Plague Tale 2, didn't finish it. I didn't stick with it. It didn't stick with me kind of as much as the first one did, but I loved those games. They're super well made. They're really polished, really beautiful games, and so I'm definitely giving this one a shot, I know. Next up was Super Meat Boy 3D from Team Meat, which is awesome. Meat Boy's been around for like 10 or 15 years, I think. I played a ton of it when it was first out and when it was super popular, and really haven't gone back for a long time like most people. But this new 3D version of it, where it's like a multi kind of style platformer, a multi 3D, multi-dimensional platformer, looked really, really unique. I like that he came out of the pipe at the beginning, kind of joking on Mario, those 3D Mario games. But this one looks awesome. I think Xbox could use more unique games like this as platformer style, so I think this one's gonna be huge. Next up, I was really excited for the Grounded 2 announcement that they put out from the Obsidian guys. These guys have put out Avowed this year. The Outer Worlds 2 is their next major game, their biggest game they've ever made that's coming out. And they're also going to be releasing a sequel to the Grounded 1 game. That's kind of this open world survival shrunken miniature teenage game. It's awesome. I played a ton of it when it first came out. I didn't really stick with it because it wasn't much of a game at the beginning. I know they've gone back and finished it since then, so I haven't put a lot of time into it. So hopefully this one comes out a little bit more finished. I doubt it is. It looked like it's coming out in early access, and so something tells me that it may actually not come out with as much content as I'd hoped, but it still was really fun. And since they have the systems, like we said, this being a sequel, they already have most of the game kind of developed under that, so they're expanding on it. It looks like you're riding your the bugs and stuff now. Up at the base building is expanded. Combat looks like it's expanded. There's like magic and all these other options now, so I'm sure it'll be great. I just hope it comes out a little more finished than the first one. Next up was Double Fine's next game. They're the guys who made Psychonauts, which is like some of the best. The first one is like one of the best platformers of all time. It's so fun, so unique. Second one was really good too. I didn't finish it yet, but I absolutely am going to. But these guys make great games, and so this one's called Keeper. You play as like an anthropomorphic lighthouse, I think, where you're like using the vision and like a bird companion, I think, to like solve these puzzles, and it looks like a really unique game. And so these guys just make really, really well-made, fun to play platformers like this, and so I'm sure this one's going to be another one. Definitely going to try and play Keeper this year. And last up, the one that really caught my attention in this list actually was Aphelion. I think that's how we're pronouncing it, Aphelion. This is from Don't Nod, a really unique studio that makes games like Life is Strange. They also made that Vampire game, which wasn't great. I didn't finish it, but some people really, really like that game, and Don't Nod is a great studio. And so this one looks like a story-based survival action, maybe platformer puzzle. I don't know. It looks like a pretty linear game. The trailer has all of the feels in it. They have a wonderful song that you've all heard before and 15 other things where it does that. If you know what I'm talking about, it's a great song. It's super emotional, so I'm assuming that's kind of what they're playing on with this game, but really excited for this one. Love a good story game, like I've said 10 times already, and Don't Nod makes really great stuff. So it looks like there's probably a little bit of horror elements, maybe some scary stuff at the end of the trailer kind of popped up, and so hopefully I don't get too scared, but I'll give this one a shot for sure. And then lastly, just to run through the rest of the announcements that came out in this showcase. These are games that I'm sure are awesome. I may not get to all of these because there's a lot of them, and most of these don't fit my style, but I wanted to make sure that I shouted them all out so you kind of knew everything that came out this week. We had the next Ninja Gaiden game, which is awesome. Been a long time since those, from Team Ninja and Platinum. They just released the remake of Ninja Gaiden 2, and that was really, really fun. I actually played a little bit of it, and so this one's going to be great. Beast of Reincarnation. This one looked really unique because this is coming from Game Freak, the Pokemon people, and so it looked huge. It looked beautiful and gorgeous, so I guess this is what happens when you give a team, you know, more than like 6 months to make the next year's Pokemon game. So hopefully these guys can have some success with this one. Chronos: The New Dawn is the next horror game from Bloober Team. These guys are horror experts. They did The Medium, which I really, really liked. Didn't get very good scores from people, but I thought it was really fun and unique, and so these guys are kind of horror experts, so this one looks pretty awesome. I'm not a very scary guy, so probably not hitting this one. We had the next season's update from the Elder Scrolls Online, Season of the Worm Cult, and they're just trying to get people in this game. There's like 25 million people that play it. I don't know if that's the all-time or their kind of active player. I highly doubt that's active player, but apparently there's tons of people that play this game. I liked Elder Scrolls Online for a long time. Maybe I'll jump back into it. Maybe I won't, but this one looked cool. We had Mudang 2 Hearts from Ever Studio. To be super honest, I wrote this one down. I don't remember what this one was. I'll put some footage of it here right now, so if this looks interesting to you, definitely try and catch it, but this one probably did not stick with me. Next up was the Planet of Lana 2, the follow-up to Planet of Lana from Thunderful. This was a game that was on my list. I've always wanted to play it because it looks gorgeous. I've just never gotten around to it. This one looks just as gorgeous, if not more so. Probably an expanded world of that, so hopefully I can get to these games someday, but something tells me probably not. They talked a little bit about the next Fallout 76 update from Bethesda, and it's all about fishing. They're adding fishing to the game, and that's usually fun. A lot of these MMOs add that because it's kind of just this expanded world. They called it Gone Fission, which is really clever, obviously, like nuclear, you know, end of the world Fallout stuff, so that's pretty funny. People are gonna love this, I'm sure. They revealed Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive from Netmarble. I'm assuming this is like a video game version of the Solo Leveling anime, which I know a lot of people really like. I'm not a big anime person. I've always wanted to be. Leave your anime recommendations in the comments down below so I can hopefully jump on something one day, but this one looked really cool. Probably not one I'm gonna be playing. They talked about Animo, which looks like this Pokemon Pal World spin-off spin-off thing where you're catching monsters and they're fighting each other and you're fighting as well. It's just another monster catching game that looks like a Pokemon ripoff, but added more stuff in Unreal 5. So give that one a shot. Next up was At Fate's End. It was this really pretty looking game from Thunder Lotus, I believe is who it was. Is that right? Thunder Lotus? Yeah, Thunder Lotus Games. These are the guys who make like the Neva games and everything. It's this gorgeous kind of 2D side action. It's a beautiful game. Not my style. Probably not catching this one, but hopefully some of you guys like it. We finally got the reveal for the Persona 4 remake, but it's called Persona 4 Revival. This is from Atlas, and so if you like the Persona games, I'm sure this is on your radar. I am not a huge fan of the Persona games. I like the style. I like the turn-based now that we're getting from games like Clair Obscur and Final Fantasy again, but this one just doesn't really catch me. But I know there's some Persona heads out there who are obsessed with these games, so I'm sure you guys are going to try that one out. They showed off the next Sea of Thieves season, like 17, I think, which is crazy. Great game. I played a lot of it at launch. It was just really empty. I'm sure it's a lot more full now. Tons of people still play this game, I know, and so the next season added like a smuggling thing. You're taking not alcohol, I'm assuming, is what it looks like. It's very clearly still kind of a kid's game, and so it doesn't look like they're trying to be too boozy, but this one looked fun. Some of you guys are playing this game, so check that one out. They showed a 3v3 tag team fighter based in the Invincible universe. I haven't watched Invincible yet. It's on my list. I'd love to check it out sometime, but just haven't had the time to watch it. And so if you like fighters, which I do, it's like a side scroller fighter where you're tagging in teammates. It looked like there was only 6 characters in a 3v3 game, and so that's a bit strange. Maybe if you guys know there's more characters coming, let me know in the comments below, but it looked like it's going to be a very small fighter game, at least to start. Square Enix did not announce anything about Kingdom Hearts 4, which sucks. I'm a huge Kingdom Hearts fan, but they did announce that Final Fantasy VII Remake, the first one of the trilogy, is coming to Xbox finally, and also Final Fantasy 16, the newest one that is, I have a video about it, I'll link it right here, but is basically Cutscene, the video game. It's basically a movie that you get to play sometimes, but they're both coming to Xbox, so that'll be huge. Maybe I'll finally finish 16. I'd love to play Remake because I know that game's huge, just haven't had time, so I might make it to this one, might not, I don't know. And then the whole world got debated when they showed the final game, where it looked like this really cool, really intense, like mind-bending, almost horror action game, and it turned out to just be Black Ops 7, the next Call of Duty game. Whoop-de-doo. No, I'm excited for this one. I did play Black Ops 6. I thought the story was actually really fun, really cool levels, and so I'm sure I'll give this one a shot. It'll be on Game Pass, but I'm not a huge Call of Duty head, and so this one's not going to catch me forever, but I'll give it a shot at some point. Those were all of the games that they announced at the Xbox Games Showcase for 2025. Let me know what you guys are excited for down in the comments below. They also had some other really cool announcements. Sarah Bond came out. We love her, and Sarah Bond we trust, and they announced their next handheld and made some kind of information known about the handhelds and the Play Anywhere, which is where you can jump between consoles and it's always the same save. You buy it once and you can play it on multiple things. It's an incredible initiative. Xbox is really winning right now, in my opinion. They're putting games on multiple platforms, which is making them so much money. They're making games available everywhere, which is awesome. And they're diving headfirst into the handheld world, which is awesome. I have a ROG Ally right here. I love this thing. I play it all the time. And so I'm excited that they're kind of expanding that. They're going to have a better kind of UI OS system on here that'll be really good for people, and this is what I was really excited about. My plan is this year to buy the Xbox handheld, the ROG Ally Xbox X that they are releasing, and I will be giving away this ROG Ally right here. It is used, obviously. It has a great case. I've taken super good care of it, and I upgraded the SSD, which is like the #1 thing that people most hated about it. It was really small. This one's got like a 2 terabyte one in here now. I'll reformat it. Hopefully we'll have the Xbox OS by then, so it'll run a lot smoother as well, and I will be giving this away this year when I get my Xbox Ally X, so stick around for that. We have another console giveaway coming this year. Anyways, guys, that's it for me today. Thank you so much if you made it to this part of the video. I can't believe it. Thank you so much. Hopefully I'll have streams back up and running soon. I'm also going to be putting out another video later this week talking about the Summer Games Fest games. There were a lot of games released this week. The PlayStation did a showcase as well. I'm going to talk about that a little bit, but some of those were a little bit less exciting for me than the Xbox showcase. I thought they knocked it out of the park this year, so I wanted to talk about this, but I'll have another video out later this week. Hopefully some streams coming back, and hopefully a little bit of BioShock gameplay coming as well. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you in the next one.